The world of AI is just packed with drama. It's got betrayals, billion-dollar startups losing staff overnight, and co-founder wars playing out for everyone to see on social media. It looks like complete and utter chaos. But what if I told you that all this dysfunction might just be the very thing that helps us get AI right?
58 minutes.
Yeah, that's all the time it took for one of the most insane talent heists in AI history to go down. The entire window between a top startup announcing its CTO had parted ways with them and a huge rival announcing that same CTO was coming home. It's a whole corporate drama that played out faster than you can get a pizza delivered.
Okay, let's just walk through this timeline because it is genuinely wild. So Wednesday morning, Mira Murati from Thinking Machines posts on X that her co-founder and CTO, Barrett Zoff, is out. Less than an hour later, OpenAI announces that, hey, Zoff is back with them. And oh, by the way, so are two other key researchers Murati had poached from them just a few months earlier. And the result? In just 2 days, the hottest AI startup of the year lost half of its founding tech team. Just brutal.
So what on earth is going on here? Well, to really get the 58-minute heist, you have to understand the backstory. You got to understand the rivalry and the very real possibility that this was just a cold, calculated dish of corporate revenge. See, Thinking Machines wasn't just any startup. It was founded by Mira Murati, who, until pretty recently, was the chief technology officer at OpenAI. She was one of the key people behind GPT-4, so when she left, she didn't just walk out with company secrets. She walked out with massive credibility, and maybe more importantly, she took people with her. It was like she was getting the band back together just under a new label. Murati brought in Barrett Zoff, a total star researcher, to be her co-founder and CTO. She also snagged other OpenAI vets like Luke Metz and Sam Schoenholz. But then, the band broke up. And in this just unbelievable twist, they all boomeranged right back to their old bosses at OpenAI. And look, this is not an isolated incident, not by a long shot. OpenAI's own CEO, Sam Altman, calls what's happening right now the most intense talent war he has ever seen. The fight for the very small number of people who can actually build these models is, well, it's absolutely ferocious. And when we say ferocious, we mean it. It's getting kind of weird, actually. We're talking 9-figure signing bonuses that are becoming almost routine. And according to multiple reports, Mark Zuckerberg has literally gone to researchers' homes to personally hand-deliver soup to try and lure them away from his competitors. I'm not making that up. Soup. That's the level of absurdity we are dealing with. So while it is really tempting to see all of this as personal drama, the revenge of the Altman, the real culprit here isn't a person at all. It's actually a surprisingly old public policy. Which, of course, brings up the question that you're probably screaming right now. How is any of this legal? Don't these people sign contracts? Can't you just sue them for jumping ship to a direct competitor? Well, the answer is a big, resounding no. All thanks to a law that's been on the books in California since, get this, 1872. And that is not a typo. For over 150 years, California has basically said non-compete agreements are worthless. You can sign whatever you want, but the second you walk out that door, you are completely free to go work for anyone you please, including your biggest rival across the street. This old legal framework has accidentally recreated an ancient tradition for our modern age, turning these top AI researchers into what you could call modern-day journeymen. So a journeyman, back in medieval Europe, was a skilled craftsman who would travel from master to master, from city to city, learning all these different techniques. And this wasn't just random job hopping. It was the main way that knowledge and innovation actually spread across an entire continent. The path was really clear. You'd start as an apprentice, then you'd become a journeyman to go wander and learn, and only after you had absorbed all these different perspectives could you become a master yourself. This whole system made sure that no single workshop could hoard all the best ideas and techniques. And this is exactly what's happening in AI today. When a researcher moves from Google to OpenAI to a startup and then maybe back to OpenAI, they aren't just changing their email address, they're carrying what's called tacit knowledge, the instincts, the hard-won experience, the kind of stuff you can't just write down in a research paper, and they're cross-pollinating the entire industry with it. So what looks like a messy, chaotic, totally crazy labor market is actually a feature, not a bug. It's a system that, for all its drama, actually produces some incredibly important benefits. You can almost think of it as a distributed immune system for the whole AI field. This constant flow of people prevents any one company from becoming a monopoly. It's the reason new challengers like Anthropic and Thinking Machines can even get off the ground. And it spreads different ideas about safety and ethics, which makes sure that no single corporate ideology gets to dominate the future of this unbelievably powerful technology. And this isn't some small trend we're talking about. Look at these numbers for boomerang hires. That's people returning to a company they used to work for. In tech, 68% of new hires in March of this year were boomerangs. This is not an anomaly. This is fast becoming the new normal. And if you need more proof, just look at history. Back in the 70s, Boston's Route 128 was supposed to be the center of the computing universe. But Massachusetts enforced non-competes. California didn't. And well, we all know how that story ended. The ability for workers to move around, for journeymen to journey, is a powerful, powerful fuel for innovation. Okay, so let's circle all the way back to where we started, that chaotic, dramatic, 58-minute talent heist. With all this new perspective, is all of this drama really worth it? The argument is a firm yes. What looks like total chaos for one company, like Thinking Machines losing its CTO or OpenAI having to hand-deliver soup, is actually a sign of a healthy, dynamic, and competitive ecosystem. The fact that these journeymen are constantly moving means that knowledge keeps spreading. It ensures that no single company and no single CEO gets to be the sole decider of what this whole artificial intelligence thing becomes. We all get to retain a say, precisely because the knowledge can't be contained. Which leaves us with one last, kind of provocative thought. For a technology this powerful and this important, could it be that this messy, dramatic, and chaotic churn of people is actually the most important safeguard we have?